Sound check 1, 1, 2, 3. Sound check 1, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, DJ. You hear me okay?
I can, and we're streaming successfully.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, muting again.
Bye.
Bye.
Great. I would like to call to order today's meeting of the Nevada Department of Transportation for Monday, May 9th, 2022 to order. If I could ask the clerk to take the roll, please.
Good morning. Governor Steve Sisolak,
Here.
Lieutenant Governor Lisa Cano-Burkhead,
Here.
Controller Catherine Byrne,
Here.
Member Virginia Valentine,
Here.
Member Stephen Esquaga,
Here.
Member Justin Cow,
Here.
and Member Gary Perea.
Here.
Governor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 2, public comment. This is the first time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item on today's agenda? Items that are on today's agenda, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody in Southern Nevada here? Nobody? Okay. Do we have anyone in Northern Nevada?
No, sir, Governor.
Okay, we will close public comment and move on to item number 3, the directors. Did we have any written public comment or telephone?
We did not receive any written.
Item number 3, director's report.
Thank you, Governor and members of the board. It's my pleasure to give you the May report. Next slide, Darren. The first thing I want to do, normally I start with safety, but I think this is really awesome. This is the first time, I think, Governor, since you and I have been in our roles, that we have a full board. And I'm so excited to have a full board and to welcome Member Gary Perea. Gary is a longtime resident of White Pine County, living near Great Basin National Park. He is owner and operator of the Border Inn in Baker. And the Border Inn is a small casino that's been in the family since 1962. Gary graduated from Southern Utah University with a Bachelor's of Arts in History before returning to the Border Inn. While running the family business, he's been actively involved in the community in many ways. He served on the Mount Wheeler Power Board of Directors for 9 years. Mount Wheeler's power service area includes parts of 7 counties and 2 states. He also served as a county commissioner for White Pine County for 12 years. He was responsible for many different assignments while a commissioner, including road department liaison. Gary has been a volunteer EMT with the White Pine County Fire District since 1996. He lives in Baker with his wife Joanne, where they've raised 5 children and now enjoy the company of their grandkids. Welcome to the board, Gary.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
All right, now I did not actually receive the state data yet. I generally receive it on the 9th or 10th, so I haven't received it yet. But we really did want to start focusing on what we're doing to address the safety challenges that we face in our state. And as you know, at NDOT, safety is our #1 priority, and we are going to do everything we can through our projects. On today's agenda, contract 3900 is agenda item 5. And if approved as part of consent, the project will be adding a northbound passing lane on US 95 south of Goldfield, as well as paving a large portion of the highway. You may be aware there have been numerous crashes in the area on 95 and on adjacent highways in recent memory. Last fall, a crash on US 95 near Indian Springs left 1 person dead in a single vehicle crash. In another crash earlier this year, 1 person died on a single vehicle rollover on US 95 near mile marker 47 in Nye County. And on March 27th, a crash near Scotty's Junction claimed 3 family members when a truck crossed the center line and slammed into their SUV. That's not an exhaustive list of the challenges we have on our rural roadways. And while agenda item 5 is not a direct response to these crashes, as you know, it takes a couple of years to deliver our projects. The addition of this passing lane and the other passing lanes we delivered last year on US 95 can really help enhance safety by mitigating some of the driver behavior that does lead to these crashes. Studies show that rural passing lanes can reduce crashes by 35%. So we're hopeful that this additional passing lane will help. And we'll continue to do everything we can to keep drivers safe on the state network. All right, I wanted to let the board, next slide, Darren. I wanted to let the board and the community know about an upcoming overnight interstate closure that may affect some travelers. Interstate 80 will be closed to both directions of traffic between Battle Mountain, exit 231, and Carlin, exit 279 over one night from 9 p.m. on June 18th to 5 a.m. on June 19th. The closure is necessary to keep road users safe while the bridge over I-80 Emigrant Pass will be demolished. The bridge was initially constructed in 1967 and is being replaced with a wider, modern bridge to make way for a future truck climbing lane on I-80. A new nearly 3-mile truck climbing lane will be constructed in the eastbound direction over Emigrant Pass. An approximate 5-mile truck climbing lane was constructed last year in the westbound direction. With nearly half the traffic in the area consisting of large trucks, the improvements will help provide safer passing opportunities for all vehicles. The project also includes repaving a large section of I-80 over Emigrant Summit for a smoother driving surface. While we undergo the overnight interstate closure, we ask drivers to plan alternate routes during the time. Services such as gasoline are limited along other routes, so please review the availability of services before traveling. Traffic stopped for the closure must park in authorized locations such as designated truck parking or rest areas. We've been communicating this closure with our county government and emergency service, transport association, and other partners in the area because we know it will have an impact, and we're trying to do it as quickly as possible with as little impact as possible. Next slide. NDOT, so it's National Bike Month and also Motorcycle Awareness Month. I guess we know that May is amazing and it's beautiful, except for days like yesterday, but it's amazing pretty much throughout the nation. And so people get out on their bikes, they get out on their motorcycles. And as you know, we continue to encourage alternate transportation modes to reduce traffic, support physical and mental health, and provide an opportunity to teach the younger generation roadway safety tips. May is traditionally celebrated as National Bike Month and includes Bike to School Day. This month is supported by the League of American Bicyclists and National Center for Safe Routes to School. We are proud to support bike and walking events planned with our Safe Routes to School partners across the state. I believe Bike to School Day is this week. Elementary schools from Fernley to Carson to Las Vegas have bike safety days. Educational assemblies and Bike to School days on the books this month are scheduled. Signs of Nevada Spring are all around, and we encourage everyone to get outside, get on a bike, and soak in some nature, and please take part in a bike month safely. We're also seeing more people taking advantage of getting out on their bikes, on other kinds of bikes, including motorcycles. This month, we also recognize Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. 4 lives were lost in just the past couple of weeks in Washoe County alone on motorcycles. If you're on a motorcycle, remember to wear your Department of Transportation approved helmet, don't speed, and never drive impaired. As drivers of other vehicles, it's critical that we drive safely around the motorcycles as well. They can hide in your blind spots, so just always be aware and listening and aware that there's other users on the roads with us. All right, next slide. Contributing to the workforce. As we've been illustrating each month, our program continues to contribute to the economy and Nevada's workforce. Infrastructure jobs approved on past months, October 21 through April 22, there were 7,544 job years supported through our program so far this year. On this agenda, there's another 635 for a total of 8,179 job years approved, pending approval after this agenda. And then the last thing I wanted to do is, as we return back to normal, we have the opportunity to start sharing some awards, and I have 2 awards I wanted to share with you. And Governor, what we're going to do is we'll take, I think some of our team members are up north and want to take a picture, so we'll do their award, take a picture, and then I'll announce the next award. So the first award is the Fernley Shared Use Path won Project of the Year for transportation under $5 million. Darren, next slide. From APWA, the American Public Works Association. This project constructed a pedestrian and bike path that connects schools and neighborhoods and runs parallel to Farm District Road in Fernley. This was a completely in-house design and construction project. There was a great deal of right-of-way involvement and extensive hydraulic and stormwater work to accommodate a historic irrigation canal that required extensive work from our environmental team. The construction for this project was managed by Sam Thompson, District 2 resident engineer, and Samantha Dowd from our design team recently presented on the project to APWA in the project. And she's seen on that bottom picture with her team. And congrats to Samantha and everyone on the NDOT team for their great work. And I think they're ready to take a picture. The good news is we don't have a clock, so we don't have to worry about the clock being upside down like last time.
All right. Do a couple here. Last one. Very good. Nice job.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Next slide, Darren. And lastly, I had one last project I wanted to announce an award. Governor, you may remember doing the ribbon cutting with this on this one with me in 2019. The project, State Route 28, just collected another award. They've received several awards, and this one was from the American Society of Civil Engineers they were able to pick up their award for the 2019 Project of the Year. It would have been awarded in 2020, but the pandemic had other plans for the award. So they just received it, yet another project. And I can attest, I've been on the trail since it was opened. It was a really busy day that day, Governor, but it has remained busy. The public is really getting the benefit of it, and so is the lake. A lot of that project, it wasn't just about the trail, it was also about the stormwater improvements that we did. So it's having a long-term impact. And that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions of the director regarding her report in Southern Nevada? Anybody up north have a question? Okay, moving on to item number section 2, the consent agenda are items number 4 through 12, but we're going to take one item separate. The minutes are number which one? 4. Let's take a motion on item number 4 exclusively, please. The approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
Governor, I move to approve the April 11th, 2022 minutes.
Okay, we have a motion for approval of the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
One abstention.
We have one abstention from Mr. Perea. Record could reflect that. Then we will take items number 5 through 12, which is remained with the consent agenda, together. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda, items number 5 through 12?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as 5 through 12. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 13. Disposal of vacant parcel of land southeast of Arrowhead Drive Interchange, Crescent City.
Yeah, the Governor, this is, we received a request to dispose the parcel. We reviewed it. We are able to dispose it. There are no reasons by which it would be direct sale, so it will be by auction.
Do we have any discussion on item number 13? Any comments or discussion up north? Okay. Do I have a motion on item number 13?
I'll move to approve the surplus property.
We have a motion to dispose of the property on item number 13. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 14, we do not have a closed session, so we'll move on to the second time set aside for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board on any item under the jurisdiction of this board, please step forward, identify yourself for the record, and comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Anybody in Southern Nevada? Good morning.
Good morning. I wrote it down so I wouldn't digress. My name is Lisa Ortega and I live on the east side of Vegas. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. I'm a master arborist, consulting arborist. I am the executive director of Nevada Plants, a new tree planting nonprofit, which we need. I am a member of the Sierra Club Southern Nevada Board and a member of the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition. We are all facing higher temperatures in Metro Clark County, excessive heat, and we know the role pollution plays in the equation. I'm here to remind you that freeways cause a lot of pollution, and we, NDOT, can do a lot by planting evergreen species in the right-of-ways. This is not a new ask. In fact, these trees were part of the initial plan. There's a trail, but the large pines are gone. Please replace the dying ash trees on on-ramps, off-ramps, and plant where there is a lack of trees, preferably evergreen, because they stop the dust all year long. For people who live directly next to I-15 and I-95. I do see the new trees. It takes a lot out of a tree, and also the pruning, it takes a lot out of a tree when you remove the bottom and middle canopy that's pruning from the ground. They're sequestering so much less than they were built to do. And please fix the irrigation and expand it on the older trees that you do have. If you haven't expanded it, these trees with excessive temperatures become borer stricken or sun scalded or both. In either case, they die. Older trees need irrigation added, period. Trees increases value as no other asset can. These are the trees that our community rely on. And it's not that many to fight the front lines of transportation pollution. And in fact, trees are the only thing that can. This is an urban heat island equity issue, and it is solvable. Thank you. We're here to help. Let's go for a ride. And I didn't realize you were going to be here, so I wrote, let's tell the governor that we are fighting climate change where it affects Las Vegas Valley the most, near our largest infrastructure that indeed, by its nature, causes pollution. No offense. It's all of us that use this important polluting infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Do we have anyone else in Southern Nevada wishing to participate in the public comment? Nope. Do we have anyone in Northern Nevada for public comment?
Yes, Governor, we have several members of the public.
Good morning. I'm Craig Madole, the CEO of the Nevada chapter of the Associated General Contractors. For about the last month, we've been working with the NDOT staff at their request to create a project labor agreement for upcoming projects in Northern Nevada. We've been working on one based on an agreement being utilized in Clark County, which has been problematic at best. The draft agreement that the department created in Southern Nevada is a comprehensive building and construction trades project labor agreement. In Section 1 of the agreement, it states, the parties agree to cooperate throughout the term of this agreement to develop methods to reduce the department's construction and project administrative costs. This is simply not the case. It is my understanding that the PLA was drafted by the department under their self-generated labor agreement guidelines document created in July of 2021. This internal guideline is more than 1,200 pages. These guidelines do not reflect the most recent guidance covered by President Biden's executive order dated February 4th, 2022. The guidelines created by NDOT state 7 steps that should be considered when recommending a PLA to the Federal Highway Administration. Step 6 is to consider the availability of the labor pool in the region, and Step 7 is to evaluate if the PLA will reduce project costs. Northern Nevada does not have a construction agreement with the Teamsters Union to provide trucking to construction projects. The draft agreement proposed by the department would require trucking to be assigned to this non-existent Teamsters agreement. Additionally, numerous crafts would sign on to the agreement who have such low density in the north that their wage rate does not prevail in Nevada's prevailing wage survey. The inclusion of these crafts, as requested by the department, would significantly increase costs of the projects. They would likely require out-of-state firms and employees to be brought in to complete these scopes of work, effectively exporting Nevada jobs and taxpayer dollars. Both of these issues directly conflict with Steps 6 and 7 of NDOT's own guidelines. I've reviewed the past 3 years of transportation board minutes and cannot find where the board adopted any policy requiring project labor agreements or approved the 1,200-page guideline for their use. I request that the board direct staff to update the existing guidelines to reflect current federal guidance and bring them back to this board for review and adoption. In the interim, I request that the staff be given the flexibility to deliver construction contracts consistent with prior practice and recognize the limitations of market conditions in the northern part of our state. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good morning, Governor and members of the board. My name is Seth Alexander. I'm the Nevada Area Manager for Ames Construction. I too am here to speak about PLAs today. I wanted to give you an update that we are operating under a PLA on the Spaghetti Bowl Express project in Reno, Nevada. We negotiated a PLA with the National Infrastructure Alliance. That PLA includes operators, carpenters, laborers, and iron workers, the main workforce behind construction of roads and bridges in northern Nevada. On upcoming projects, there has been information out there that there may be a building trades PLA utilized for those projects. And I just want to provide some feedback that that does create a lot of issues with trades that are not represented in northern Nevada. And I would just ask that NDOT and the board take that under consideration for future projects. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good morning, Governor
and board. I'm Kevin Linderman with Q&D Construction, Vice President. I'm also here to talk about PLAs. We are a joint venture with Ames on the Spaghetti Bowl right now. So we are very familiar with the current PLA that we have on the project. We feel that it works really well for Northern Nevada. We're signatory to all the major unions and are a proud union contractor. The difficulties of trying to incorporate a full-scale building PLA on a highway project puts us in a very difficult situation at many times. We're signatory to national pipeline agreements and national labor agreements. Currently, we are going through a project that is just on the California side at Tahoe for a gas line, which actually has the Teamsters requirement. And as of right now, we are going to have to pull trucks out of LA to do the project. So just not a very well represented set of unions that are outside of our major unions in Northern Nevada. So I'd like you to take that in consideration when we're looking forward to new NDOT contracts with PLAs. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, Governor and members of the Transportation Board. My name is Chris Burke, Vice President for Granite Construction in Nevada. Granite Construction is a union signatory contractor throughout the nation, nationwide, and we're signatory here in the state to many trades. I manage offices here in Reno, Las Vegas, and Elko, so I can speak on behalf of the fact that the signatory disparity in available workforce is drastically different from Las Vegas to Elko to here. Those markets are much different. And for that, you know, we are doing NDOT transportation work in the South. We're signed up recently to the project labor agreement down there on a big CMAR project. And that had impacts through that, through getting our GMP considered. It affected the number of bidders, you know, from a subcontracting standpoint. And the concern is that that same thing would be up here. On PLAs in the North, where certain signatory unions are not available, the concern is rising costs, you know, for contractors taking risk on how they employ those signatory contractors that aren't here, competitiveness potentially, bidders, how many bidders we're going to get on the projects. Certainly project delivery timeline is a concern. And so overall, rather than debate the merits of whether or not we need PLAs, it's more important for me to say that we need NDOT support in trying to figure out a reasonable project labor agreement up here, because I don't believe one size fits all, seeing the markets that I manage. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your comments.
Morning, Governor. Good morning, Board. My name is Dan LeBlanc, Vice President Construction with Sierra Nevada Construction. S&C is a heavy civil contractor that works on numerous NDOT projects each year. S&C has concerns over the proposed building trades PLA as well for larger projects in Northern Nevada. This would result in large and unnecessary project costs, as well as have the potential to limit bidders on projects. I urge you to use the National Infrastructure Agreement PLA that has been successfully used on Spaghetti Bowl project and is specific for highway projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it, Governor.
Do we have any written or telephonic public comment? Okay, that will wrap up the meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn
Boy, a lot of motions on that one. We have a motion to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thanks, everybody, and happy Mother's Day belated to all the moms. Okay.